What's it? What's a secret about most women that most men don't know? Like something that you would want to tell your son or something if like you didn't want his girlfriend tricking him or something. You know, like what's a secret that you would tell guys?
Mm, what I would tell my son about women? Um, just to avoid, like we were talking about earlier, like to make women the happiest is just to be like, you don't necessarily have to agree with them, but just you don't have to argue with them. Like just it's not letting them win, but like don't ever
Oh, being
argue.
stoic and just letting them just be
Never
emotional.
argue with the woman. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason to ever argue with the woman. Like
Yeah,
that's what I would tell
guys,
them.
we were talking about this off camera, but I'll fill y'all in. Like basically, just being stoic and never letting a woman affect you emotionally. Like what Jay Waller likes to talk about, how you got to be the stone on the side of the ocean and let the woman's emotional waves crash over you. You should never be the one that's moving to the ocean waves. Like you're the stone. And yeah, it's a very attractive trait. Like we were talking a bunch about it earlier, because it's a super attractive thing when a guy stands in his stoic frame and women walk into it, and they can act however the fuck they want, but he stands a perfect frame. That's what y'all should all be trying to do.
Yeah,
Um,
sexy.
and guys, if there's anybody who wants to call in, please call in and do the speed date, or you can come debate me.
I know they don't want to date me. Like,
Well,
am I
no,
not attractive?
no,
Like,
it's just most people. You know how like I'll give you a perfect example. You know how like sometimes women will bail on a date or something because their hair's not done, or like they want to look perfect, or they want, maybe they're on their period or something and they really like this dude and they might hit him on the first night. You know, so like
yeah,
sometimes. Like I feel like there's a lot of guys, they haven't gone to the barber in 2 weeks. You know, they fucking their lighting's off, whatever it is, so they're not gonna call in because of shit like that. Guys are just as insecure as women are today. Let me go ahead and read that five really quick, bro. Is there another one other than that, or just that one?
Just this one.
Yeah, just that one. $5 for Hombre of the House. Like the video, and she would go on a camping trip with you to fulfill her fantasy.
that's my
Yeah,
fantasy.
it's her fantasy. I honestly hate fucking camping, bro. I hate
Really?
it. Yeah, it's so uncomfortable, and just like waking up and like your throat's all like, why is it like this? Because like you're like breathing in like the
Yeah.
moisture air all night. I don't know. Like I've just never enjoyed it in my ever. And then the food you have to cook the next day just doesn't taste like at home. I don't know. It's just never good.
No, I know I'm
Um,
a choker if you down to me. So I've had a really bad experience being choked.
yeah,
Like near death. So I don't know.
you're not. Yeah, that's actually something that.
Like I'm into it, but like only if you're like the most like I gotta like tell you to do that, and it needs to kind of like almost make you feel awkward because dudes get really comfortable with that.
Yeah, they
Like
really do.
What,
yeah,
choking?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because it's so popular.
Mom.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
right.
blacked out
That's
too,
right.
so like
Call for
I
your
have no
mama.
scars, but you know,
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Hmm. No, that's like the one of the ones that everybody talks about on the show every time. It's always like Scorpios and Leos are like the ones that people call out the most. If you were a man, do you think your life would be easier?
Mm, fuck no,
No. You think it's
no.
easier for a woman?
I think my life is a lot easier than a man's. Like I have a lot of privileges, and I understand them, and I definitely use them to my advantage.
Yeah, pretty privileged. What I like to say is it'll flip, it'll flop. So like at the beginning, from 18 to 30, women are have the privilege, but I would say guys 30 to 45, we get the privilege because we're all
Because
valuable and
everyone
shit.
wants you guys
Yeah, it's
after 30.
but yeah, we're shitty before 30, so it's just like it sucks for us before then. Um, hmm, is there a certain time of the day that you like having sex the most? Like, are you a
Yes,
morning person, a night sex person, a midday? Like what?
midday.
Midday. So wow. I really I feel like everybody that I'm gonna like, that's a new question I came up with, but I feel like everybody's either one or the other, like morning or night. But you're midday.
I don't. Night is just kind of like whatever. Like most people are having sex at night, but like
Middle
I
day.
hate morning sex.
And then would you rather? Oh, so like that's the other question I was gonna ask. Would you rather cook breakfast in the morning or have sex in the morning? You rather cook breakfast?
Cook breakfast. Yeah, like I want to wake you up smelling bacon. Like
I
breakfast in bed. Like feed
I
you fruit.
love
Like
asking those questions because you start to figure out how different every fucking woman is. Like some women love it in the morning, some women hate it in the morning. Do you believe in unconditional love?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have a child.
So like, oh yeah. So would you have unconditional love for a man though?
I think I could have unconditional love for a man.
I
Yeah.
think personally, I think women can only have it for children, and guys can have it for their woman. But men are replaceable. You got to realize that, like for all of history,
But
like
women are so replaceable. And I think faster than men are. Because it's so many women and there's so many women that can just settle at any point in time and a guy will be okay with it. Like they don't I mean like
I
guys
shouldn't
really
use the
go for
term
women that like
replaceable.
them.
I'll say disposable. Well, it's not, guys are disposable. So like, and it's always been that way, you know, like we can die tomorrow and there's 1,000 other men with, there's, every man has thousands of sperm in him to make you another baby, you know? So like we're just that's why we're the ones that go off and die at war. And like, we're the ones that get drafted because like, it's okay. Like all the men in the United States could die. And as long as there's a shit ton of women, we're still going to reproduce the world. We're still going to reproduce the country. So that's why in all of history, it's always been about the men going and dying. Because as long as there's nobles back at home, we're going to have a bunch of fucking kids again. You know, it's no big deal. Like, that's never going to happen. Yeah, guys are very disposable. So that's why I don't think that there's not that much unconditional love. Like, there's also something called, what's it called? War brides. So, like, back in the day, whenever, like, a guy would, like Genghis Kong or somebody would like raid a village, like there's you would kill all the men there, and there's a bunch of women there, and like the guys would like the
Save the
women.
women.
Well, like the women, they were gonna die. Like if they didn't go with those warriors, they were going to die. Like they had no man to help them survive. There's nothing like back then you couldn't survive without a man. So in order to survive, it was better for them to see their dead husband and say, "All right, fuck him. I'm gonna go with this guy that just killed him because I don't have time to sit here. Like I gotta survive.
Yeah.
Like it's a survival instinct, and that's why women get over breakups usually better. Like, but earlier you said you don't, but usually they get over them quicker. And then also, like I would say, unconditional love is harder for a woman because you're meant to get over that guy because sometimes you had to for survival. I don't blame the women. It's just it was an instinct for a long time. Now today you are just a bitch if you do it though. You're just fucked up. Um,
No, I do care.
yeah. What are they being mean? Are they all talking
Someone
shit?
said something crazy on there, and then they will be warriors themselves. Yeah, if they,
What?
yeah, I had this conversation about like needing a person, or if like we need each other, like men and women, and like I was like, I don't really not think that question's kind of biased because like we obviously have homosexuals, so it's like if you're a man and you don't even like women, do you really need women? Not really,
Yeah. No. We.
but
So so like for throughout history we needed each other to survive. Like we
mm-hmm,
had to work together as men. Like I made this Twitter post like a couple weeks ago. It's a privilege to not need the or like it's a privilege to be able to be gay now. It's a privilege to be able to
mm-hmm,
not need a spouse. Like those are all privileges that we have because of technology, because of
same,
how the dollar is now and financial status of people, how women can make just as much as men now and stuff like that. It's a privilege. So like back in the day, because like back in the day we would have to have 8 to 10 kids so we could run the farm, so we could run everything in the family. Like it was so hard. So like now we're so privileged. It's like we don't need kids. Like we don't need
yeah.
any of this stuff. We don't need a relationship. I'll take care of myself.
We don't even have to have sex to have kids anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
you don't.
so,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, so it's like not, but at the same, so like we don't need any of these things, but do we still have biological instincts to want certain things? And that's the issue. Like you may think that like you're modern, but do you still crave the 6'8" tall guy who has a lot of money and is
I'm
is
gonna
is
crave that till the day
charismatic?
I die.
Yeah, exactly. So and then just like how for guys we still want the young, fertile, like
Mm-hmm.
perfect virgin woman. Like we're always gonna want these. And it's so crazy because we just attack each other for wanting these. There's so many women that like attack men for wanting younger women, and then so many like people, vice versa. Attacking the opposite. Like there's everybody likes to attack for each other's preferences, but it's a natural instinct to
Yeah,
want it. We
I
can't.
just watched The Color Purple the other day.
Bro, I like that movie, even though it's really bad for the culture. But I really like that
No,
movie.
it's
It's a
not
good
bad
movie.
for the culture. Actually, I rewatched it for my own benefit and just like watching it and like understanding like how we really